Alright everybody, I went back to the old way I stream because I can't find my cord. So we'll see what happens. I don't know why, but it wasn't picking up my camera for some reason. The YouTube anyways, but I don't know. I'll have to play with it again, I guess. Hi Devin. This is very frustrating. But we're back to this again. Sorry. I thought it was okay on the weekend, but apparently not. Hi! Michelle. So that I'm back to this old way. Hey Dorothy. God. Kathleen. Hey Ann. I don't know what's going on. So we'll just cross our fingers and hope that everything goes well. And I'll try to figure it out next few days what's going on. I guess I'm, like Janet said, I'll probably have to hardwire my computer. I'm not sure where I put it. I know I bought one, but I have no idea where I put it. So I'm going to have to hunt for it. So I hope you all are having a fantastic week so far. My sister's down, so I'm happy. I got some company, and it's nice to have her here again. So this is what we did last Tuesday. It was this mischievous little marshmallow stealer. And there is a traceable for that if you want to play along. I don't remember if that was for everybody or just the members. And all my traceables are available for all members here on YouTube and also on Patreon, which I just started. And that can be found under Kathy Arbor also. So if you want to check out that, you can. Or you can press the buttons or the links down below. I'll have to put that in. I'm not sure if it's in there right now. I'll do that afterwards. But there's a join button underneath the screen video here for the YouTube. And you can press that and it'll take you to a video explaining what the membership's all about and the different levels and all that. Or you just can go on to Patreon under Kathy Arbor and find out about the different levels in that one too. And it's the same as the YouTube membership. And the only reason I did that was because there was too many people complaining that they couldn't see the videos or they couldn't see how to join, and most of them have Apple products, so I thought I may as well. Hey Janet, I couldn't find my my cable, so I'm gonna have to find that and hardwire it somehow, but I'm hoping this stays. So that was what we did on Tuesday. And then this is what we did on Thursday, and there's also a printable for this one here. This one is in the description, and it's for the public, so everyone can use it. And that was from a book, Between the Vines, or Christmas Time Between the Vines #2. And I just put it on the background of an existing painting that I had sitting around. So that was Thursday, so you can check that out if you're interested in acrylics. So I thought, well, I've never done a snowman in watercolor before, so we're going to do this guy. And I've already printed it out, and there is a traceable for this one for all members on YouTube and Patreon. And you can download that and print it out, enlarge it, whatever you want to do. And I thought we would stick to the colors that are already here. So I printed it out, and that's what you'll get. I actually made my print on the gray side. So you can do that in your printer settings if you're printing these out, and lighten it by the intensity. So just lower your intensity and it'll come out a little more muted. Okay, you want a screenshot? There you go. Screenshot. And here's the color, and we're going to do this with watercolor. So I actually put it on my, let me put this to the side here. I actually put it on 140-pound cold press watercolor paper, and we're going to play with wet into wet. I think the Snowman would probably look better if it has a softer look to it. So I'm going to start with the Snowman first, and I'm just going to wet around all the areas because his eyes and nose and all that is fairly dark. I'm not going to worry about going over top of that, but I don't want to go into the background at all. So just wet it. And I've already wet my papers. Now the Snowman that they show here is actually got kind of a yellowish tinge to it. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it more of a winter blue color. But I'm going to leave it only around the edges. So I'm going to mix a little bit of red with that blue just to purple it down just slightly. And I want it fairly watered down. And then I'm just going to go around the edges. You'll see in the picture, when you print it, there's these little dots. And those can be where the shadow areas are going to be. So because I wet it, it's going to bleed out on its own. Yes, this watercolor, 140-pound watercolor paper. So I'm going to just take a clean brush, take some of that water out, and then you can just clean areas that you want to keep more on the white side. So I think I want his chin a little bit more white, so I'm going to take some of that up. And remember, your paint always dries lighter. All right. Then around the bottom here, you just look at your actually I didn't wet that, so let's wet this first. Under his chin, and now you can do this all in watercolor, or you could use some pens or colored pencils, maybe some gouache. I might use a bit of white gouache in this one. Take some of that color again and just a little bit darker along the edge. I'm going to make a little bit more of that. And what I'm using is cobalt blue and a little bit of alizarin crimson in that cobalt blue, just to put it more on the purple tone. It's a purpley tone for snow is excellent. And I'm just going to go along the edge of the little vest he's wearing, along the bottom of the snow would be shadowed, and along that little bird house. And I'm just dabbing. And maybe a touch under his chin. I don't necessarily want it on his chin. And it looks nice because it kind of wicks out into the center. Now you can take your brush and just wipe away bits and pieces if it gets too out of control. Keep it a little more, let's do a little bit on around the eye here, just to lighten it a little bit. I want to keep that fairly light. So we'll just remove some of that. And it won't give a hard edge when you're doing wet into wet. I love the blue-purple tone much better than the yellow tone for Snowman. Yeah, it kind of, like Eileen says, it kind of looked like a dog peed on it. So once you're done that, go to something else that's not close to this wet area, and you can let this dry on its own. If you can't do that, then dry it with a hair dryer or your heat gun. And the next thing I think I'll do is the hat, because it's the biggest area. This is going to be a little bit tricky because I don't want to go over top of these other snowmen or these little mounds of snow and the Christmas presents. So you're going to have to play with it a little bit. And this is going to be done in probably a Payne's gray, maybe with a little bit of burnt umber in it to darken it even more. I want it more on the black side than the blue side. But first I'm going to dry it up a bit. I understood you, Devin. Okay. Actually, I wonder if I should put it on a board. Let's see. I have to find a board, so I'll leave it. But if you put it on a board, it'll stop the curling. Now, the hat, see how dark it is? Now you do have kind of a bluey tinge along the snow line here and the edges, but we're going to do that with gouache. So I'm not going to worry about having those areas darker. So I'm going to basically put this dark color all the way through this, around the little snowman and stuff though. And don't paint over the cherries. If you don't want the cherries in there, don't put them in. So a little bit of Payne's gray, and I'm going to use Winsor & Newton, and I'm just going to put it in here. It's a really nice dark Payne's gray. You could actually just use that and not worry about getting it darker, but it will have a kind of a blue tinge to it, and less fun too. So I'm going to put a little bit of burnt umber by Core in here, and it'll darken it more onto the black side. So now I think I will probably, you could do either way. I'm not going to be worried too much if I do go over some of those, because I can also go in with gouache. Gouache will go over top of a dark color. So it might be even easier if we do that. But if you don't have gouache, you could use acrylic paint also. But I'm just going to wet the areas with my paintbrush, just with some clean water, and try and stay out of those little people's legs and the snow, the main snow areas, like these little tufts of snow. And then I'll just drop in that Payne's Gray mix. So it'll be darker around the edge by his head, and anywhere there's these little creatures or whatever they are. So the paint will only go where you've put that water. You can always go back over it and put another coat on if you think it's not dark enough, because these do dry lighter. And take your time. Enjoy the process. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't rush. When you rush, I just heard the dog squeal. She must have bit her tongue or something. It's a little bit darker under here, I know. Why not just use black, Kathy? Just a preference thing? Well, everybody's different as far as the black color. For me, I like mixing my own blacks because it has a little bit of depth with it. A little more, I find just a plain black very flat looking. There's more richness in a black that you make. But, you know, some people love the black. So, you know, it's really preference what you like. Saying that, I do like black in acrylics. So, you know, it's just a preference thing, I guess. Okay, I'm just going to try wet into dry now. I'm just going around these little snowmen. If you have a really nice fine tipped brush, this is when you use it. This one's not bad. I do have some smaller ones that I'll probably bring out. It might be a little easier doing it wet into dry. You're in more control when you're wet into dry. Let's see, I think that's a cherry there. It's kind of hard to see. You could put your cherries in later Don't have to worry about every single one. Like I said, you could just do them in acrylic or paint markers, another thing you could use. There is quite a few and it's pretty small. I'll try, see how it goes. But just enjoy the time that you're doing it. This is how you get lost in your art. You just enjoy the process and you're not thinking of anything else. And before you know it, hours have gone by. Do you want me to zoom in closer? You don't have to put them on. You can do whatever you want. Just because it's a pattern doesn't mean you have to use it the way it is. It's the way I always look at it. I always end up changing things up on patterns. I just like to do my own thing. Now on the hair, I'm not going to worry about all those little strands of hair. I'll put those in with gouache. And we're going to put that little lighter, kind of light frosted look around the snow and the sides of the hat with a little bit of dry brushing. Or you could also use a white colored pencil. Nope, I'm making him mine dirty face. Good. Just make sure if you do mix up your own black or whatever color it is, if you're mixing up a color that's not in your palette, make sure you mix up enough of it, because unless you know exactly how much of what you put in to make that color, it's going to be noticeable if you don't get it right, if you run out. It's a little bit of a fiddly pattern, but it forces you to stop and do it slowly. So just take your time, enjoy it. This is a fairly thick consistency of paint, so I probably won't need to go over it again. If you're not sure, test things out on a side piece of paper too. Hi Eileen. And I'm just going to move the paper so I don't put my hands in it. It's a cute pattern. I like this one. That's a gift box on there, and that's a bunch of ribbon, so I'm going to just put that on with a pen. Looks like white it's supposed to be, so we'll do that in pen instead of fiddling with it. And you can use this for acrylics if you want to do that. It wasn't meant for acrylic painting, but I thought it would be cute in watercolor. You can enlarge it, make a bigger painting if you want. You could do this in mixed media too, it'd be really cute. You could actually do the little vest in paper piecing. That would be cute. And make the colors what you want. You don't have to stick to the colors. You could also just use half of this. Just do the face. Would be cute. Just enlarge it. Add a different background if you want. I think there's little polka dots on here too, which I'm gonna just cover and put on my own. Could use stickles, would be cool. Or if you just want to use watercolor, just use watercolor. Don't feel you have to only use one medium. Okay, how does that go? Snow, I think. Like that. I think that's it. I think that's part of the hat. Or is it? Alright, so there's his little hat. So it's fairly dark. See the Payne's Gray and Burnt Umber makes a nice black, but it's not flat. You know what I mean? It's hard to describe. Dar. Good to see you. You'd love this one, Lori. All right. Well, while that's drying, we'll continue on the little scarf here. Now the scarf has got a number of patterns on it. You could make your own if you want. I'm probably going to stick to what is here. If you had little bits of paper, that would be cute too. You'd do that. So it's, let's see, green trees with blue. So I think I'm going to use the cobalt blue. And similar to his face, but I'll make it a little darker. Doesn't have purple in it. We'll put the trees in, and the stars can be done with pen. And it's a little bit a stronger color in between the little trees and on the bottom part. So just add a little bit more blue by touching. And around his little cheek here is a little darker. And this one here, I'll bring you in a little bit. That's kind of small. And there's snow in this little area too, but I think I'm just going to use gouache, so I'm going to paint over that snow, but I'm going to try and stay away from the little cabin that's on it. We can put that in. And the top part is even darker, so I'm going to add a little bit more paint. So the pigment's a little higher. Just a little bit more on the top there where the sky would be. Oh, thanks, Lori. Yeah, anytime. Ask some questions. That's what I'm here for. I'm just going to wipe away some of this paint around the house where the snow would be. So just with a damp brush, clean damp brush, you can pick up some of that snow and make the snow drifts. And we'll still add some more color to it. Maybe a little bit on the very bottom here. I'm going to add a little bit more dark. And it's still wet, so it's going to bleed. It won't leave a hard line. Okay, so this part here is kind of a magenta color. So I think I'll use Quin Magenta by Core. It's just a real small area, so I'm not going to make up a whole bunch. Just water it down, and I'll put the polka dots in with pen. And you just have to be a little bit careful because I'm close to that blue and it's still wet. Don't want it to bleed into each other. Just be careful. Okay, that's the only spot there. And then this area here is green. So I'm going to do a light green first and then a dark check on top. I have this leaf green by Da Vinci, I think it is. Yes. I'm just going to, now I have to stay away from that blue again, so I kind of shouldn't be doing this area. But I am. Okay. And then we could do the, well, that's still wet. This is green also. Little stripes. A little darker on the bottom. Hey, Lisa. Is that bright enough for you guys? Let's see, exposure. Looks a little dark. There. Okay. Now this one is brown, so we can use, let's see, burnt umber will do. A fairly watered down, just a base coat. Most of the squares are going to be detailed with probably pen or marker. A little darker along the edge, so I'm just going to dab in a little extra pigment along the edge there. This one also is brown. Another way of doing this would be washi tape. That would be cute. You could put washi tape bits. And a little bit more on the top here. So I'm just dabbing in extra pigment just on the top, like that. So those are the brown areas. Then there's kind of a yellowy, kind of an Indian yellow, I guess you could say. And that is up here. A little more pigment under his chin. You could do this the same way as far as putting extra pigment. A watered down acrylic would be cute. And then you just wipe away a little bit on the bottom. And then this is kind of a burgundy with a rose on it. I'm going to try and stay away from the rose. So let's do alizarin crimson or cad red. Maybe cad red. It's a little more on the dull side. I don't want it too bright. And then a little bit of, if you want to gray down your color and darken it, the best thing to do is take the opposite color, So the complementary color that you're using. So I'm using red, and the complementary color is green. So you just put a little bit of green in your red, and it'll gray it down and darken it. So if I take, let's see, permanent sap green, and I just put a little bit of that, it turns it into more of a burgundy brown. I'm going to try and stay away from the flower and leaves on the rose, so I can go in later and do that either with a very small brush or colored pencils. Even markers would work if you leave it. You could use markers in this. I think I might actually use my clean brush Zig watercolor. They have a fantastic tip on them. Very, very, very fine. I hardly ever use them. They're put away and I don't remember them. It's the normal thing. You put stuff away and then you forget about them. Oh, I went into my green. Starting to seep a little bit. Memory goes first. Okay, let's clean that up a little. And then this here is a really nice kind of I would say green apatite would work. It's a nice green. I'll mix it with this other green here that we had. I just want it a little bit different than the others. And I'll go around the heart. Let's try and stay away from that pink. It's not going to run in there because we'll get a kind of a muddy color if it does. It is a little bit. I should have dried it, but I'm stubborn. Okay, and it's a little bit darker in the corner here, and along the edge and under the chin. Just add a little bit more. Okay, so there's the base coat of the colors. And I'm going to let it dry. May as well do this little birdhouse, and it's blue also, kind of more on the, I'm going to put a little, what should I do? A little bit of orange, I think. I want more on the gray side, so the opposite of blue is orange, which would be the color to gray down your blue. So just a little bit of blue. And then we'll use that more in a grayish color. Actually, I want a little bit more blue in there. There. And I'm just going to paint around the, looks like a straw roof of it. Paint around the snow. Go. And then we'll darken it. Okay, have a good day at work. Thanks for coming, Devin. All right, now I'm going to give it a dry because I want to go into the hat area now. I covered the ribbon. See, that's red. I covered the ribbon. It should be red. So I'm going to have to go over that with some gouache. Wasn't paying attention. Okay, so let's do this little snowman. He's got, he almost looks like he's wearing PJs. And he's kind of got a bright green background. So, and his cuffs looks like a fur cuff. It's brown. He's got stripes. I'm going to go over part of his beard hanging down, and I'll just use a white marker to put the little wisps of hair in. And it's a little darker along the edge, so just add a little bit more pigment down there. And around the cuff is a little bit darker also. And same with over here. It's a little darker along the cuff area. And his pants. Darker around the cuff and around the bottom of the jacket cuff. That. That should be a little thicker there. Just a spot. And his hat, top of his hat, is a little bit. Okay. And green on the tree, it's kind of a teal green, so I'm going to add a little bit of Windsor green to it, to this green mix here, just to change it up a little bit. They're not very big. And go over top of that little bow. I'll put that in with pen. There we go. I think that's it with the green, except for the leaves, but we'll do that later. A red gift, looks like. I'm going to do more of a magenta. And it's up here, beside the snowman. I'm going to turn it around so I don't put my sleeve. It's this one here. So this part's just basic. You're more or less just filling in, and if there's any more shaded areas, I just add a little bit more pigment in those areas. So along the snowman edge, that's a little bit stronger color. And then there's a blue one under the trees, and it's got ribbon or a design on it, but I'm going to do that all in a pen, or this is very, very fine. You could get your jelly roll pens, that would look cool. So just the, what is this, cobalt blue? You could use different blues, it doesn't have to be cobalt. Whatever you have, use it. And this one I'm going to just make a little bit watery, so it's lighter. And like that. I think that's all the gifts, and just one there that's yellow. So that Indian red that we had, or not Indian red, Indian yellow. I'm going to put some in here, and it's got a white ribbon on it around the snow. There. Okay. Those trees have some trunks. Just put a little bit of that burnt umber in there. That. And let's do the snowman. Now we want to do the snowman the same way we did him, with a little bit of purple. So we want to add a little bit of that red again to this blue to make it purpley. And not too thick of a pigment load though. More watered down than. You can always add more if you need it. So best to go light first. So this guy, let's start off with this one up here. So a little bit on the side here. And on this side, you'll see the little marks on the pattern where he's shadowed, which is good. Helps you. A little bit over here under his chin, and right here on the bottom. I'm going to bring this over just a bit more. That. And then before it goes dry, just take a clean brush with some clean water on it, and then soften the edges. You just go over the edges with clean water a little bit, and it softens it. And you don't get that harsh line that's goes on it. See? And do that to all of the snowmen that are here. So this guy here, he's got a little bit more shadow on him for some reason. And right around here, there's a snow poof front. That, maybe under his chin a little bit, and then before it dries, take a nice clean water and soften those edges. that. And then we have a little gingerbread. So let's use some more of that burnt umber. I'm going to put a little bit of raw sienna with it, just to make it a little more kind of on the little bit of a red side. Lightly put in the gingerbread, and then we'll just use markers to fill in the face and all that. Put a light coat first and then darken the areas that need to be darkened. That's cute. Got little legs crossed. Okay, and then just darken it with that umber again, the burnt umber, just to give it a little bit more color for shading. And then you go over those areas again. So kind of around his tummy here and the side of his head will be a little bit darker. And halfway up his little arm that's raised. And the way he's sitting, he's a little bit darker around his knees, along the side of the arm where the tummy is, but not on the tummy, the arm. And around the bottom of his chin on his chest. Also, the top of his head a little bit. And wherever his legs are crossing, the one that's underneath will be shaded a little bit, and then same with the little foot that's showing through here, and along the bottom side of the leg it overlaps like that. And then the same thing, take a clean brush and lightly take that water so it doesn't leave a hard edge. So more there. Oop. Just a smidgen more here. Took too much off. And one thing we have the cherries to do is face. I think we can do the cherries and all of the rest of this with markers, pen, colored pencils, that type of thing. I'm going to put a little bit more blue on this parcel here, so just to darken on the bottom. Needs it. So just dabbing. And the trees, I think I'll do all that with pen, or not pen, colored pencil. Now this heart-shaped vine thing, you could do the leaves, and then we'll do the dots and the snow separately on it. So I'm just going to use whatever green you have on your palette, doesn't matter. And then just with the very tip of my brush, put some of that green in. here and there. You'll see some of the leaves, some of them are very, and I'm not worrying about the shape. I'm just putting a little mark, basically, wherever I see a leaf. You can put as many or as few as you want. There we go. I think I got them all. And then we'll put the ribbon and stuff on separately. The little roof here is, I think we could actually put that on with wash. So I'm going to paint this in brown for now, and then we'll go over top of it with a gouache of lighter straw color. So put your, sweep some in, have some jagged sticking out. Like that. Now, because it's sitting on a white piece of paper, I think we're going to have to put some kind of background around it at least some kind of a halo. So dry this up and then we'll put a halo around the whole thing. Alright, so you can decide if you want to do, you could do the brown color that they have here if you want, or you could take Payne's Gray, something on a cool color maybe, blue, but you'd have to be enough difference in the blue, so they either have to be so pale or a dark blue. I think I'm going to just do, I think I can do the brown actually. So kind of looks like a burnt umber. You join Patreon too? Well, make sure you cancel the YouTube one, Dot, because you're on YouTube too. So we're going to do this in the clean water. So around the edge of our snowman, I'm just going to take a little bit at a time. So I'll do one area. Try not to go over that snow on the arm, because you want that to remain fairly white. And then just dab that brown or whatever color you've decided along the edge and let it bleed on however it's gonna, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing. And then just take some of it away that kind of got crazy. So it's more of a soft, gradual look to it. So let's go around the hat. And then take that color and I'm just like dabbing. Make sure there's enough water. You're one of my best supporters, Dot. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It'll help me in getting better equipment so I can do more. There, and I'm just going to take some of that away, soften it. It'll probably be easier for you, Dot, too, on Patreon. Patreon does have some benefits over YouTube, I must admit. It's a little easier to find stuff, and well, they don't take as much from you, that's for sure. Cost effective. Hathy thought you might just be... Aw, thanks, Dot. You're sweet. Okay, and then just add... now my water's kind of dirty. I'm going to make sure it's fairly dark around this gingerbread man, or he'll just disappear. Do love these though. I think they're such cute designs. She has a ton of books out. So if you're interested in her stuff, look her up. I have a couple more of her books, but I can't use them for classes. This was, I don't know why, but for some reason this is the only book she allows to be used. Although she does do classes of her own, so I guess she learned after she did a bunch, or the first two, that she could do it herself and not share the patterns with other teachers. Just keep it on her own. But I do appreciate having this one. It's got a really cute style. A little darker, and then just don't have any really hard lines. It's the only thing you have to watch out for. So like this here, it's too harsh. So just take the clean water and get rid of that. That could use a little darker in here, and we'll darken the Little gingerbread guy. Hey Kathy, this one's ready for you. You can download it. Excuse me. Just want to make sure there's enough around here so it doesn't disappear. Oh, that's not too bad. A little darker in there. And then soften. Take some real clean water and soften these. Dry throat. Okay. Like that. That's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more around here. Around the little tree. The snow. Just a bit around the snow. And around this, whatever it is. I'm just going to put a little bit of a halo around this. So I'm just going to dab it. I already put water in there, so that, and then just take the water, just make sure it's nice and soft looking. That's when the clean water comes in effect. You don't want those hard lines so that it's noticeable. You want it gradual gradation out. You could also take a clean brush and take away stuff too if you find there's a hard line. Now that also depends on what kind of paint you're using. Some paints don't come off as easy. They stain quite hard. So you kind of have to be careful. Test it out on a piece of paper. Know your paints. Alright? Okay. So let's dry that. Alright, now let's do the snow a little bit on the bottom here. Now I want the snow to be kind of the same purpley color, but this time I'm only going to be doing the areas that would be shadowed, so to speak, in the snow. So like in here, you're going to see more of a shadowed area wherever they're overlapping. So you can just put a little bit of dots here and there. I'm just going to add a little bit around that birdhouse and along the edge of the snowman himself. And along the bottom parts of the snow will be shadowed. So you can just add a few in there. Because you still want some of that white to show through. So don't cover it all up. And then do the same for any of the little puffs of snow that you see on the hat, and just add more or less shadows on the bottom areas of the little puffs of snow. And leave the tops white. And there we go. Okay, I forgot to do his boots and his cuffs and stuff. So his little cuffs was kind of a brown color, and more dark on the bottom edges. Same with his hat. He's got a little pom-pom on his hat too. Like that. And his boots are kind of a gray color. You could do them brown too, I think. Let's see. Oh, you don't see, you only see one of them, so it'll be a little darker on the very bottom. And I'm going to soften, I don't want a hard line. Here. Did I miss anything else? His face needs some yellow and some red. Will give you a nice peachy color. I'll just color his face in. Let it dry. And his mitts are blue. His little blue mitts. Like I said, you could do all these little doodads with colored pencils or Poscas, whatever's easier for you. And then these trees are green. I think I'll do those. I may as well just fill them in with some of this green paint, and then we'll use colored pencil to shade them. And the heart was pink. Now we can go in with the heart. And the cherries, we could do those too. The rose, I guess I could do the rose pink, and then I'll just use some colored pencils to finish it off with the shading. Leaves. And the little house is brown with a red door. I don't think I'm going to worry too much about the red door and stuff. I'll use a marker. And the roof is kind of a burgundy color. So I'm just going to put the little house in. Just color the whole thing in, and then just use some Posca and do the other. Okay, I got it on my brush there. All right, I think that's good for now. Now let's get some Poscas and colored pencils. Yeah, I'm gonna get some colored pencils out. Or should I use my Caratalk, or not Caratalk, Zig? I do have them here. Let's see, try some of these, see how well they do. Okay. Green. Let's see. Yeah, they work pretty good. Just doing a bit of shading with the color that would be right for it. So I'd have a little bit of shadowed areas, and you'll see that in the speckles too, where they should be shadowed. And this one here, that. The green on the scarf, or not scarf, the, whatever you call it. I think it's a little like poncho type thing. Could be dark. And it's little squares, so let's see. Just do some squares. You could do doodles, change it up. You don't have to do all the stuff they've done. You could just do doodle patches. That'd be cute. See? I've been sitting here for the past 10 minutes just staring at my mess. You got a mess from streaming? Yeah, I know. I've been there. I'm there most of the time. Some veining on the stems. Some stripes on the paper. What else? I think it had a stem there. Oh yeah, he had wavy lines on his PJs. Every so often. Like that. On his hat too. Yep, going across. Alright, and where else? Okay, some dark pink on the dots on the pattern. These tips are so fine. Look at this. Look how fine that is. These are great. And I've had these for years and years and years, and they never dry out. They're awesome. I'm going to do the door in this too. That. And some of this here. That little rose. And the heart, I think, could use a little bit. You could probably, well, I know you can use water on the brush with these too. They'll move a bit. So just find a brush that's got a little bit more stiffness to it, and they'll work great. But you have to do it fairly quickly. You like them too? They're awesome. Let's see. They're great for this type of thing too. Let's see. Nice red for the berries. Let's see what I got here. Pretty sure I have them all. There's red. So just do the underside where the shading is in the dark red, and then just take your brush and sweep it up. It's a wet brush. Just move it a little bit. It gives you just enough color on the top parts. So, that's cute. May as well do all of the cherries. I might have to go in and fix some shapes in here, but we'll put these in. The good thing about black here, this dark color, is if you go over the lines with the red, it's not going to show. I think that's cherry. There. I think that's a cherry there. I think I got them all. Oh, there's like a curbillion little dots. It might be easier to use a pen and do that. Okay. Let's just a bit of water so it seeps in. Then we can highlight the tops with a bit of white Posca or whatever you got. And I'm going to use this green, put the leaves in. That's a leaf there, maybe. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I think I missed something here. I did. So I have to put that in. That can be a leaf. Leaf. I'm going to take some, probably some poster paint, or gouache, and do the stems. Let's see. Is that it? I think so. And I'm not going to bother fixing that in there. It was supposed to be red and I goofed. But they did a kind of a gray band on this here, so that's what I'm going to do. There. What other gray areas? I'm gonna make this side of the box a little, well, maybe not, because the arm's there. There was little circles, so I'm just gonna put some circles with this. It's almost a, I don't think they got the names. It says light brown on it. Oh yeah, I could use that for Santa's other stripe in his PJs or whatever this is. Looks like PJs to me. Getting ready for the overtime he's gonna do. Right there. I think I'm gonna use it on the bottom of his hat too. his nose can be pink. Yeah, I think I'll get pink. Soft pink or medium. Put it on his nose. And black for his eyes. But leave, just do the bottom part. Leave the upper part a little bit lighter. It gives it more dimension. And then you just take your brush, soften the edge a little bit, but leave, well, you could color it in, and then we'll just use a better white to highlight the area of the highlight. That. And he has a black outline along the edge of his cape. So you put that in. Like that. And a little tie. All I can do is his arms in this too, black. I could have done it on that. Well, I could do it in the same color as the hat, but I figured it'd be easier doing it with a pen or something. There. And what else? There's a rim around this birdhouse. And the inside of the hole. Leave a little bit of the highlight on the bottom though. We'll use a pen to finish that up, and a pen to finish the fringe on his cape. Let's see. Okay, let's get a white pen out. Now I'm going to use a jelly roll, or what's the other one called? You want something fairly fine. So let's see what I got here. We have a Sharpie, fine, extra fine, it might work. Or these are great if they're working. These Signo Uniball, they work great. Yep, that works. Or a jelly roll will work. And then, if it's dark enough, make those lines. Sometimes, let's see, the lighter you press, the more ink comes out. So don't press too hard when you're using these, because you'll get a better mark. Now these, you could also use jelly rolls or sequenced ones or sparkly ones. So there's, how many in there? There's 3. And then there was striping on this one. You don't have to get too crazy with it. Just give them something different. I didn't do the, I'll do the bow in a different color. This one had a bunch of on it. What other present? Okay, there's white and there's black stitching around the little quilted areas. Like different, it's up to you if you want to put them in or not. They're cute. Across here. And then there was stars here. So dot. With little stars. Little dots on the ends. Like that. This one had white. So light touch with these uniballs for them to work properly. That's what I found anyways. Around the rose. That's kind of a, what do you call it? That stitch where it shows on the outside edge. Can't think, is it blanket stitch? I don't know. And then it says snow here in white. Like that. Yeah, get your zigs out, Kathy. They're awesome. Oh yeah, let's put a little mark on the tops of the cherries. And on the leaves too, on one side of the leaf. Like that. And on her nose. And then there's polka dots on the hat. I'm going to just put a highlight on those cherries and put my polka dots in. And right around the brim here, it's white. So it's kind of like a highlight. And right here too. Maybe a smidgen on there. Like that. And then on here, on that little birdhouse thing, there's a highlight on that. Kind of sparkles in a way. Like that. I'm going to just highlight the bottom parts too a little bit. Now, I'm going to fix that. I forgot that one little area that I missed for some reason. Right here should be black. It's not. There. Now I want the black pen or marker, whatever you got. I'm just going to take one of my micro perms. Now you can put in the little snowman faces. They have a little pink nose. And you can put in the arms too. And its buttons. And the little string or whatever, ribbon is black also. The little guy. He's got, I forgot, he's got white on him too. I'll have to put some of that on. And this guy too. The little eyes. Like that. These are cute. I gotta put the ribbon on that gift. What else? Oh, I'm gonna use this. He's got a little, on his eyes, little squints on his eyes. So you can put that on. Just adds to his character. Oh, and I gotta put rosy cheeks on him too. Make that a little rounder. I gotta do this in the sepia. Let's see. Oh, let's put the buttons and stuff on the gingerbread man. And the little marks on them. His smile is white. Like that. Now, I want a little bit of a color difference in the around his hat. So if you see how it's kind of frosted looking, we're just going to use some white colored pencil to do that. So find your white. And just very, very, very lightly, wherever it's dipping down in off the hat, you just kind of swirl a little bit of that around. You don't have to do the whole area, just kind of random looking. Same with the edges of his hat. It'll have that frosted look. He's kind of got folds in his hat too. So it's kind of just underneath these little bits of snow. Don't make them too even though. That. And along the edge of his hat too. That, and here, a little darker. Okay. And then I'm gonna, they had a white, but I don't think that's gonna show unless I get my, I don't think I'm gonna do that white. I think I'm gonna do that in a red. The ribbon. Yeah. Let's see. Just play with it. Yeah, the red looks good. And I'll shade this in a little bit on the sides. Take my brush. Soften it a little. And what else? Oh yeah, we have to put those in. I think I got a red pen. Yep. See if it works. Yep, it does. Okay, I'm going to take this red pen and just do the dots. That way they're a little more round looking. So use what you have. Colored pencil, jelly roll, pens, or just a plain colored pencil will do. And then I'll put my vine in. The vine will be in a brownish color. Cute. This would really be cute on a bigger canvas, so you could see the detail more. There we go. And then just take a nice brown. I think I'll actually take this one here, which is beige, it says. Let's try it out first, though. See what color it is. Yeah, it's not bad. And then just go over the vining areas. Use thin, thick lines, curly cues. You don't have to follow the exact lines. make them smaller, thicker. Here. And then I'm going to actually take my black pen, maybe that's a 5, this is a 3, and do I want black? Maybe darker. Just thinking. Or actually a pencil might do. No, I want a little bit darker. Let me think. Maybe a brown colored pencil. And I'm just gonna go over this with some darker swirls in a different color. Just gives it more dimension when you do that. Like that. And we got to do this here. Actually, let's try colored pencil and see what happens. Yep, that'll work. So just do some streaks with a colored pencil. Oh, that's actually, no wonder it worked. It was, oh, that works too. That was a pastel pencil. That's why it went on so easily. Okay, some yellow and some white. Let's see. Leave some of that dark color though. You want some of that showing. So, there. See? And then rosy cheeks. So we can take a wet brush, get it ready, and use our Zig pink on the cheeks. Just do a small area first, and then take your that. Actually, what was that color of black I was using? It doesn't seem to. You have to be careful. Here. That's cute. Oh yeah, one more. One more thing here. Maybe this will work. Okay, and then some lines. I need darker color lines. There. And his little nose. His nose. And I gotta do Santa's face. Eyes. And I think I'm just going to put some marks in with a pen to show that this is Santa's beard. And the windows in the little house can be put in. It's all these little tiny details. Actually, these had some black marks. Oh yeah, I was going to put fringe on too. And these stars. There. Where else was black? Around this, I think. That. And then around the bottom here is black. And then little fringe. You make it as thick as you want. I think this one will go in my December file folder art. And then we can bind it this year. It's cute. Oh, let's put some stems in too. I think that's it. The eyebrows, like that. Oh, he did have some little cherries and leaves on his top of his head. Let's see, little berries here and there. And leaves. Yeah, a few leaves. Okay. There. Okay. There he is. I think they're cute. So I'll bring it out a little bit so you can see the full thing. Be cute. Be a really cute card. Today's the 14th. Awesome. Yeah, isn't it cute? I hope you guys give it a try. I want to see yours, Janet. They're cute. You could do all kinds of stuff. You don't have to just do what they put on it. Oh, actually, I have to, since I'm not, I gotta fix one thing. Between Santa's legs was dark. Because I forgot to put that in. So you could put whatever you want on his hat, like all kinds of stuff. If you wanted birds or toys or whatever. Oh, thanks, Deb. Yeah, isn't it cute? He's awesome. I like him. I think he's so cute. So give yours a try. See what you can do. Try different things too. You could make other stuff on them. I'm so far behind because but okay, I'd love to see it. Thanks, Dot. Thanks, guys. They're fun. Just give them a try and enjoy just doing stuff, being creative. And takes your mind off everything, relaxes you. Just have some fun with it. And don't stress if you don't have all the colors. Use what you have. Just use what you have. And sometimes that's the best way of doing art is using what you have, and then you experiment because you're forced to, and then some amazing things come out of that. Happy accidents. All right, well, I'll let you guys go, and we'll see you Thursday. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. My sister brought 2 big canvases to be done. So I might be doing some of that, or I'm not sure. Leave a message below if you would be interested in that type of thing. She wants big fronds of tropical leaves put on them. And they're old pictures that she had, and I'm painting over them or using the existing background for part of it. So I'll let you guys go and have a fantastic evening. Get your stuff out and be creative and enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Bye for now, guys.